What do you think about the new agency model that everyone's talking about between client and agency? Is it more collaborative, or does it just require more trust from the client to just say, we trust you, do what you have to do? Which side of that coin do you think we're on?
Well, if you take a step back for a second, and I think that in some ways the role of the CMO it's changed a little bit. I think I think that the tenure of the CMO has become longer.
Yeah.
It used to be quite short, surprisingly short. The average CMO used to stay in their job for 18 months, and it's hard to impact, have an influence in an organization when that's the length of the stay. And I think what you're seeing is them become more influential. You're seeing them part of the C-suite, and you're seeing them become very comfortable. I think 5 years ago there was a little bit of trepidation about the impact of digital. Do I have to really deal with that?
Right.
There's this new channel. There's another thing I have to contend with, and I think that there's becoming a real comfort now that it is we live in a digital world, and my brand doesn't have to be everywhere for the sake of it.
Right.
And if you couple that with advertising which gets to in some ways the real power of advertising, when it helps companies articulate what they're about.
Sure.
What they stand for. Advertising like that can really become these organizing ideas or organizing principles for companies, and to get that, and for a CMO or for an agency to have that impact on a brand, it's difficult to do it on a project basis.
Right.
I think there need to be longer term engagements, and there's always going to be the notion of projects that come up, but I think that we strive for those longer term engagements, because that's really where you see the difference that somebody can make.
Sure.
Again, to what the CMOs becoming more comfortable about the role of digital. I think I think what you'll see is not a kind of a going back to the old model, but just a comfort with how to engage with digital media and therefore agencies. And I think what you'll start to see is CMOs craving kind of a one point of contact, or thought leaders who can make sure that ideas and brands are consistent, and that decisions are being made for the interest of the brand's business problem.